Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Core Business Show. It's Tim Jacquet, your host. Today I have a pleasure of having Mr. Hollywood himself on here, Shannon Rose. He has a publicity firm, and we're going to talk to him today about his company and talk about how he manages that and how he became Mr. Hollywood. Shannon, thank you for coming on the program.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay. I guess to begin with, kind of tell us about yourself and how did you get started in this business and how did you start your business?
Sure. Well, actually, it started way back when. I'm 37 years old now. I started when I was 12 years old. I have a rare medical condition called Ehlers-Danlos, and it's a connective tissue disorder. And at the time when I was 12, 13 years old, my arms were paralyzed. And prior to that, lost my voice for a year, had a weird cough, and it's all attributed to my medical condition. Well, the Make-A-Wish Foundation granted me a wish to meet Hulk Hogan and Dusty Rhodes, if you will, and Gordon Solie, the Dean of Broadcasters. From there, at 14 years old, it gave me the start, it gave me the will, the passion to continue on. And the doctor said, "Oh, you're going to be in a wheelchair." I didn't let that stop me. Went to a pro wrestling event. They gave the handicapped kid a chance to ring the bell, but then they needed a ring announcer because the ring announcer was a little inebriated. But go inside the ring, and you're gonna ring announce. Who wants to be a ring announcer? They asked me, and they pointed to me and they said, "You're going to get in the ring announce." And I had both arms in a sling, couldn't move them. Stuck a microphone right in the middle of my arms. And I was 14 years old. I started ring announcing for professional wrestling. As I went through, I was a wrestling announcer, still am to this day. I opened my PR firm in 2007. Prior to that, I was a morning radio talk show producer for approximately 7 years. And within the industry, they let people go, of course. Especially, I was one of the first, because of the economy downturn, that they let. It wasn't because of my performance. It was just let go because of the economy problems. And usually you jump around different radio stations. I decided to take a different direction, take all of what I know. Prior to that, I was on TV, I did producing, and I worked for another TV station here, CBS, and I decided to take all that knowledge and all my contacts and create a PR firm. And in 2007, my first client was Chris Markowski, the watchdog on Wall Street, national radio host. He said, "Take me to the next level outside of just doing radio and some radio." And I took him to the CNN, Fox News, and to this day, we are one of the busiest, one of the most, we're a company that's constantly busy. And I decided when you're at the top, sometimes, you want more, and it's not more money, it's more just drive and more to be more successful. And what I've decided to do and what I did is one of the casting directors here locally retired, and I went ahead and bought his company. It's a casting company. I cast movies, television. It's called Rose Casting, rosecasting.com. And besides that, I'm known as Mr. Hollywood. And to get into that, Mancow, a national radio host, coined me Mr. Hollywood over a year ago. I started doing radio Hollywood reports for him, and from there, I'm on over 11 million stations, or heard by 11 million people on probably about 40 stations, some national USA or IRN USA Radio Network, Mancow, and various others. And so I'm behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I still do pro wrestling managing, so I have my hand, and I also just appeared in a weight loss commercial. So I dabble in a bunch of different things.
Wow. How you keep up?
I don't sleep. When I'm in the hospital, this past year, I've been in the hospital 5 times, almost near death.
Oh.
And I don't let that get me down. I had a tube in my throat. I still continued on. I didn't even know half of what I was doing, but I had people that helped me, Jason and Sean and Jared. These people helped me continue on because I may be the brains, but I also need people behind me support me. And that's what a lot of the people behind me and support me do, because I can only carry a company as far as it wants to go. But luckily, we have great clients, and I know the direction I want to steer my company in.
How do you assemble a team like that? I mean, you really have to put a lot of trust in them. How do you discern, as people come to you looking for employment, how do you discern how to build your team to get them to take it beyond that so you don't have to run them day to day?
Well, I think it's over time. Like anything else, you learn your craft. Jason Dowd was my first. It's like the Avengers. You grab, I'm a big comic book fan, so you parallel that. But I'm the or X-Men, I'm the Professor Xavier, and I want to find the best team known to man. So you do the bumps in the road, you get through the bumps in the road of the people, and then you find the Jason Dowds. Then from there, I saw a gentleman that was needing some kind of a job at the time, and he always was very much into. He's a man of God, and he has like a church that deals with people that are in wrestling and also that are looking to build upon their life more with Christ and God. So Sean came around, and I felt that he would be a good fit. And he's like the booker. Jason confirms all the bookings. And then I found just recently he came to me as an intern, Jared, who's also a former military guy, and he's just so detail oriented and such a good just passion inside of him. And that's the thing. All three of these gentlemen have a passion inside of them, and that's what I look for.
Wow. And when you look at booking, and like for example, some client comes to you and say, "Hey, we want you to take my publicity, be my publicist." What is a publicist, and how do they actually manage that?
Well, a publicist is someone that takes someone such as a Malcolm, such as a Diamond Dallas Page, and takes them to the next level, creates a bubble around them. We want that bubble to get bigger and bigger, and we want it to burst. We want them to, for instance, Diamond Dallas Page's his video is now seen by over 2.5 million people. It became number one. I mean, I just got a call from Good Morning America wanting him to be on. We pursued that, and we got him on. We've had people on Ellen. So we want people like Malcolm. We want to take him to the next level. We want to get him on TV. We've had him on the radio constantly, WGN, national radio shows all over the place. He does a Malcolm Minute, Out Loud Minute. He interviewed Herman Cain recently. So it's one of those things where we create the aura around them to take them to the next level.
Wow. And when you manage your company itself, the media company, and then also you mentioning you have a casting company that you bought, and are they parallel, or are they two different staffs, or how do you actually run the casting?
They're one and the same in a sense, but the Rose casting, those are the people that are beginning, brand new, starting out in the acting business, and then they move their way up as they become a star and as they become an expert and whatnot. Then I decide whether I want to represent them as a PR firm. But we've had people, Justin Kelly, for instance, I assigned as being his publicist. He's an actor. He appeared in various movies and series, and he's just been signed, so I'm happy with that. And we've had others that are moving along in the ranks and getting bookings, though. Larissa, she's with an actress, and she's really a rising star and doing very well. And Shannon Rose, and there's some other ones that are within my casting group, and I booked them on. We're going to be booking a major movie coming up, so we're very busy.
Oh, wow. Okay. In your business itself, what advice do you have people, especially if they're looking for a publicist, what they actually need to look for? Of course, if they can come to you, be wonderful. But if they're in a certain business or certain region, what things they should look for in hiring the person?
Well, I think they should look to hire someone that is say what they mean and mean what they say. A lot of PR firms out there you'll pay them your money and you won't hear from for a month. Well, as soon as we hire on or they hire us, we literally the next day we start acting. We start getting media requests or media bookings for them. We don't like to sit and wait. If we sit and wait and we see that things are not happening, we make things happen.
Okay. And you go there. How do you go about doing that? I mean, just send the information, pick up the phones and call people and say.
Exactly. We write press releases where it pitches. We pick up the phone. We pursue the contacts that I know and see what gear-driven, what path is the correct path for them. So everyone has more than one dimension to them. So, for instance, we have perhaps a stem cell expert. I'm sure you can talk about not only stem cell, but maybe something why people need that. There's many different versions because, sometimes an apple is just an apple, but if you break it apart, there's many parts to it.
Okay. With your portfolio itself, you have something from actors, pretty much you have the wrestlers and across the board. Are there particular industries you like to stay with that is your sweet spot, or pretty much you're a generalist? You take anything that really makes sense to you for your company to pursue.
I think
does that make sense?
I don't want to use the word I don't want to use the word anything though.
Okay.
I will turn down some, but if it's someone that I feel that has that niche that I can work with, I mean, I have a self-storage centers of America. You think of storage unit, how are you going to do PR? Well, there's many angles. They did an auction right now. We're taking advantage of the storage wars. That's a big thing going on. We write press releases. We write announcements. So we have a eco-friendly fertilizer company, and we write press releases announcing what they're doing and get them in the gardening magazines and articles. And so there's many effective ways to market anything. But again, I won't take anything because that as a company is something we have to take individually and look at and see if there's something that is going to work. It's going to be if it's the right shoe to fit for us.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. In your media, I mean, you do newspaper, print, and television. When you take that one particular person and you put the press releases together and to get that energy behind them, is there anything on the actor or the client has to do to kind of keep that momentum going as well? You guys are creating that. This sense, is there something that they can do at the same time to try to keep that energy going?
Well, I think it's one of those things where I think that to keep the energy going in our clients is just to continue to book them on big shows. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to. People sometimes have different ways of being. My job makes me happy. I live for my job. And when I see someone booked on a show like WGN, when Malcolm gets booked on a top radio show or TV show, Good Morning America, whatever it is, that makes me super happy. You get that natural high inside. You're like, wow, I accomplished something. Because what you're doing, you're making my clients, it's making my clients happy. So I think the energy that I'm pushing inside of them is letting them know that they are stars, that they are marketable, I have a 14-year-old radio host that's one of my clients, and we're doing well for her too. Yeah.
Social media, how has that played a part of your job today? Because it can cut both ways. It can bring you to the top pretty quick, but also it can cut you down just as fast. How do you prepare your clients for that? I mean, they have to be cautious on everything they write, everything they say. Is there a link that you know what's going on in the world if something is said about a particular client that you can kind of intervene to stop at the very beginning?
Well, I would say that, you got to be cautious with social media. You've got to watch what you say on Twitter. It's important. We handle social media for our clients, but also when they do it personally and we watch over them, I tell them, make sure not to do it after a certain time at night, and make sure if you're going to a party, you're not too inebriated. Because you got to be cautious as to what you say. People watch things, and sometimes you can't take it back as quick when you tweet out something.
Okay.
And Facebook, you got to write it correctly. Even though it's a social media in passing, people pick you apart if you're misspelling something or the grammar is wrong. You'd be surprised, especially if you're just doing it on your phone. Just be cautious as to who you're marketing and why you're marketing it.
Wow. Okay. So, for example, if a client has something negative, how do you actually neutralize that particular negative item that has come out through a client? If you have the client that has something negative in the social media, how do you bring that down or try to divert people from it?
Well, let's blow it up a little bigger. Let's say that they have a negative thing that came out on a website, or they were in the public eye because of the law or whatever. Well, we always spin. It's like a politician. You spin it to a positive. So if they were at a press conference and they were asked about something that they did wrong in the past, well, you always divert it to the positive of what you're doing. I've worked on campaigns. So you always take that negative, turn it into a positive. Same thing with social media. Well, first of all, if it's something really bad, I delete it. Even though on the internet, you got to understand there's always a benchmark. There's archive sites that archive every single little thing. So no matter what you delete, it's always there. So you go ahead and delete it, but also you come back and you put something positive. And you acknowledge it, but you don't acknowledge it. So it's, again, sometimes, you want to be honest and you want to play face and make sure to be face forward on everything you do, but you don't want to play into it too much and delve into, because we're also a society of now. People are going to forget tomorrow what possibly you said yesterday.
Okay. Wow. Any advice that you have for small businesses or clients that is coming up, trying to build their businesses themselves and wanted to look at going to acting, or is at a plateau in a certain market and they come to you? When you sit down and talk to them, what advice will you give them?
Well, first of all, if you're in a business, I think it's effective that you two taking acting classes, because not only is it going to help you personally inside, but also it's going to help your speech skills and be able to speak at different events and board meetings. As far as a business, my business was a small business. I'm technically still a small business, even though I'm a national company. We're just a few people that run this company, but we run it effectively. And what I would recommend is to always, even though you may have a few people working for you, always direct out exactly what you want. Tell your employees to have team players. That's what I have that work with me is team players. We may be inundated with always having everything there, but it's team players that move everything.
Okay. Anything else you would like to leave the audience with about you and your company?
I would say in our vocabulary, in my vocabulary, the word is I can't is never in my vocabulary. When I was a radio producer, they would want me to book the President of the United States. I didn't say I can't. I tried my best. I got the assistant to the president, so I think I did pretty good. And that's the thing with what we do. We always pursue the best for our clients, and no matter what we do, whether it be casting or a PR firm, we never say no or I can't do that. If we want to get somebody on Ellen and you ask me to get you on Ellen, I'm going to do my darndest to get you on Ellen or to get you on Jay Leno. We had one of our clients in Time Magazine. So never say I can't, or we don't say as a company, I can't.
Wow. Well, we'll leave it as that. I really appreciate you coming to the program, Shannon, and give us that information while I was in acting class. So thank you again so much.
And check out the website, the letter I, the letter M, ShannonRose.com. Also, I'm on Facebook at Shannon Rose Hollywood and doing a contest on Twitter for the 1,000th follower. We're giving away cash. Follow me at Shannon K. Rose.
Okay. No problem. We will put that up there. I really appreciate it again. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay. Another production of the Core Business Show with Tim JK. You can download this episode on iTunes on Blog Talk Radio. And we ask you, if you do go to iTunes, go ahead and write a comment that you enjoy these particular series. Thank you for listening. Everybody have a great day and take care.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim JK. For a free quote on equipment leasing and financing, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. And fill out the information to receive your free quote. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the Core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. Thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim JK.